Mr. Turley, I want to get back to what you said in your written statement about the abuse of power model that we've seen in other administrations and you think may exist here with this administration. I just want to look at the gentleman before me was just talking about the way the Justice Department ran the investigation into Hunter Biden. And some of the things we've learned from the whistleblowers were they were prevented from taking certain investigative steps. They couldn't interview the adult grandchildren of the president. They couldn't execute a search warrant on a storage unit without first tipping off the defense counsel. They couldn't use, in interviews they got to do, only a couple, they couldn't use the term big guy. They couldn't look at political figure one, which we know is the big guy, is Joe Biden. They couldn't investigate tax years 2014 and 2015 because they let they couldn't charge for that, I should say, because they let the statute of limitations expire. Is it an abuse of power when the Biden Justice Department stops investigative steps that all potentially lead to Joe Biden?
It certainly can be if there's a linkage to the president. If you look back, I think Article 2 of the Nixon impeachment was an abuse of power provision that dealt with that type of nexus. Article 1, I think, of the Trump impeachment, I think, dealt with that type of nexus. So you just have to establish those linkages as you go forward in an inquiry to make an article to substantiate an article of impeachment.
I want you to elaborate on something you said earlier, too. I wrote it down. You said confirmed corrupt influence peddling operation. Can you elaborate on what you think that entails? That's pretty strong words. That you said the Biden influence peddling scheme was confirmed corrupt influence peddling operation.
I think that it's now, in my view at least, largely unassailable. Even people that have long been critical of some of the investigations have acknowledged recently, particularly after the Archer interview, that this was an influence peddling effort. Whether it was an illusion or not is part of the task for the inquiry. But it seems to me abundantly clear from these emails and statements and now sworn testimony that Hunter Biden and his associates were selling access to Joe Biden. And the question is whether any of that effort resulted in decisions and changes being made by Joe Biden, and also the degree to which he knew of it, directed it, encouraged it. That's all the subject of an inquiry that has to be determined. It can be disproven or proven, but that's what lays ahead of you.
Yep. I yield back to the gentleman. Appreciate the gentleman for yielding.